Hi everyone, Julie from upstate New York, and I should repeat that I am not a medical nutritionist or a nutritionist of any sort. So more or less you take these suggestions at your own risk. Remember, your body is unique. You meet with your nutritionist, hopefully someone who respects you. Excuse me. A lot of the advice that I have found helpful, personally, has come from a PhD who I think he's gone to his reward now. His name was on the radio, and he was called Carlton Fredericks, PhD. You might be able to look him up. He had a show every night, and he would say the PhD meant possibly half dippy. And that's how he introduces humility into this subject of nutrition. And I learned a lot of things along with everyone else who listened to the radio program. So I had some of the basics then, but I wasn't sick then. I had not been ill then. I was still living at home and with my grandmother, who was very nice. And I moved out on my own, and that's kind of when I started to get ill. I was too lonely. I hadn't learned how to cook. I hadn't learned how to pay bills. I hadn't learned how to take care of myself. And I certainly didn't know anything about how to get along with other people. Most especially how not to be bullied by other people who can do it very overtly and can do it in a more subversive way, or shall we say more sneaky way. I personally learned to be sneaky myself, coming up in a kind of a crummy, nowadays they call it dysfunctional home, and boy it was. But you know, I'm at that place at 65 where I'm very grateful. It sounds crazy, right? To be grateful for the hardships and the really tough things my mother and father did to me. Because it's made me tough. It's made me able to recognize when people are not being truthful and are trying to get over on me as well as the system, which is not something that I was ever terribly interested in. Anyway, there's a whole thing that was very helpful when I was 300 pounds and I had already gone through gastric bypass. It didn't work because I needed more help. The doctor was wonderful, by the way. This is Julie from upstate New York, not a nutritionist, not a doctor. Thanks so much for letting me share.